Բարի առավոտ, եթե մեզ նոր եք միանում, Panarmenian եթերում շարունակվում է Բարի լույս հայերը։ Մենք լավ տրամադրությամբ ու դրական լիցքերով շարժվում ենք առաջ ու այսօր հյուրի հետ խոսելու ենք ինտերիեր դիզայնի եւ տունը գեղեցիկ ու գեղագիտական դարձնելու մասին։ Այսօր որ տաղավարում հայտնի ինտերիեր դիզայներ, միջազգային մի շարք մրցանակների դափնեկիր Parviz Pargarin է։ Good morning, Mr. Pargari. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Armenia. And thank you for inviting me here. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. The last time you met Armenian community was an event organized by me, all about style and lifestyle. And you talked about how to impress people with interior design, with houses and everything. How do you like to work with Armenians and how do you like Armenian style?
I have a wonderful experience with Armenians. Have a lot of good friends such as you and Aida and so many other people that I know, Armenians. Such a wonderful, we are almost the same, Persians, Armenians, they're the same. So I always am happy and proud to work with Armenians and be part of them.
It's interesting to see if there are any specific, not requirements, but specific desires that usually Armenians have when they're trying to work with you. Maybe color-wise, maybe style-wise, maybe they want some Armenian elements, or is there any specific details that Armenians require?
Yes, they are. Actually, they want to be more elegant somehow. But I'm trying to give them more comfort. So between them and I, we always are able to achieve a very good environment and easy to use and a cohesive place for them. So I make them happy.
And that's what I was going to ask, finding the right balance between having a beautiful furniture and being it useful, because sometimes you can enter a house, it looks like a museum, it looks perfect, but then it's not usable, it's not very comfortable. So how did you manage to create a balance where you can actually live in a house that it's designed beautifully?
We don't want to live in a museum. We would like to just go and look at the museums usually. But when I'm designing a house and you are in your house, you have to be comfortable. Comfortable house brings you more peace and harmony and everything to you. So I make sure that, because I have a master's degree in wood and furniture design, I make sure that all the furnitures are comfortable to sit on. Because we are not over there to just look at the furniture. It will be used by the house owners and also any kind of guests they have. So part of my mission is to make sure to bring the comfort, especially comfortable furniture for them.
Even though the modern styles are popular now, but we are coming from old countries, from old history, and we like our traditions as a Persian people. How do you balance the old traditions, carpets, everything, history with the modern styles?
Actually, this is the most challenging things I have these years, because everything now, everybody wants modern. So I created a style myself. I call them classic modern. So I make sure that that edge look, comfortable seats, but beautiful and comfortable, instead of having all those carvings and use of gold and everything. I bring them in a different way, in a modern way to the house. Still is my design, which is good, but my interpretation of classic one. Because those classic things are, nobody wants it anymore, and it's not, doesn't have any use. Especially for one of my clients, they have a lot of antiques. So I told them you should rent a storage, put all those, and because I'm designing a new house for them. And then when it's again on fashion, so then bring it back. So I am doing my best to do classic modern one for everybody, because still classic, it looks good.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but when we look at your work, we can see that it's kind of timeless, because your signature is very visible. So whoever probably sees any of your furnitures would guess that that's your work. And how your design has evolved, and when you see your work, do you feel that it's different from what it was before, what it was like maybe 5 years ago, or is it easy to spot the differences?
One of my mission always was to have a timeless house for anybody, any of the clients.
But at the same time, they are not going to invite you next time to redesign the house. If
Yes, they do. This client of mine, actually 2-3 of them, I've been designing their house 2-3 times, and they move because they have children, they need a bigger house and all that. So I do. One of the good things is to have a repeat customer. So I think my work has been good enough for them to ask me again to design the next house to the next level and all that for them.
Do we have to be super rich to work with you?
Or I think yes or no.
Or you're fixable?
I could guess.
I have a good taste and expensive taste. So if you show me like 10 different kind of fabrics to see which one is good, my eyes just picks up that
the expensive
ones because I've been trained that way. But yes, you have to have money to have a, because everything is costly. Nothing is cheap. Even the modern one is more expensive because it has a high gloss, high polish finish and all that stuff. So it's even more labor to create it.
And do you choose your clients or your clients choose you? Have you had clients that you would never want to work with or maybe started to work with and you
I shouldn't say that one, but yes. Nobody hears it, but yes. But no, when I go and see a client, we actually, both of us, we interview each other because if I don't click with that client, I wouldn't take the job because I love to work with the passion. And when I'm not in a good environment of the work, and on the other hand, I don't want to give them a bad work because that's my name. So I rather to just stop it right there. And sometimes they don't want me as a designer. So it goes both ways. But yes, we do interview each other.
And also, is it only local clients or maybe worldwide? Maybe you do, because it might be hard to do, you know, abroad, to work with clients who are abroad, but do you have that experience too?
I started last year, besides working in Los Angeles area. Now in the next level, I design houses, buildings, and different kinds, like hotels, museum, city hall, and all that. And those are being approved. So my next jobs are not going to be in Los Angeles area. It will be mostly in Asia. You know, big projects always takes time. So they are in process. And hopefully we are hoping by July we will start all that because it's a huge project. One is in Thailand and one is in Philippines. So we're gonna start working over there mostly.
And also holidays are coming and everybody wants to feel the spirit of holidays, Christmas, New Year's.
I love that time.
Do you have any tips or advices for decorating house for Christmas or New Year's?
Most of the times when I finish the house, it's a time of before the holidays. So we're just trying to finish the house of people. They have, my clients, they have those. So I always, yes, definitely use, of course it's a holidays, so houses without the Christmas tree or those poinsettias, beautiful warm candles with a nice scent and all that. That's always my advice to everybody, to make it warm, make it cozy, make it holiday looking. So that's a good idea to do.
Okay, we're going to show a small segment from a documentary all about details we filmed for you, and it's a beautiful condo you designed for a young couple in Beverly Hills. Let's watch it and we're going to come back after a commercial break. Կարճատև գովազդային դադարից անմիջապես հետո մենք կդիտենք մի փոքրիկ հատված Parviz Pargari դոկումենտալ ֆիլմից եւ կտեսնենք թե ինչպես է նա կարողանում տները վերափոխել։
I designed this condo almost a year and a half ago. That's for the daughter of one of my previous clients. And they definitely, because they are a young couple, wanted a new modern house. So as I said, as I always told everybody, it's better to have a classic modern. So I designed this beautiful condo for them. When you see some places there are some antiques, is because those are the gift from the grandpa, grandma, and it has to be displayed somehow, somewhere, and I was able to display it well so it will be a cohesive look. After a long talk with my client, so we decided to go for a gray color and different shades of gray. Of course, in any kind of design of mine, there is always a pop of the colors too. So I was able to achieve their wish and give them all these different kind of grays, but in different kind of furnitures. When we are talking about the modern place, we don't have to just go look for the all metal or weird looking furniture to call them modern these days. But I'm able, and I was able to achieve that beautiful modern look by combining a beautiful woodworking furniture, beautiful fabric, clean line, beautiful work, and craftsmanship of metal for the coffee table, selecting the beautiful fabrics and leather. So all these are helping to create a beautiful modern condo.
You are an anticipated guest and designer in Pacific Design Center. How are you connected to this design center?
Pacific Design Center is a mecca for designers. Every year they have West Week, and all the designers, fabric, furniture, accessories, even architects, they are all coming over there. So Pacific Design Center is the best place to shop, and also the stores around it. That place has the best furnitures and fabrics with the highest quality, and also the stores around the Pacific Design Center. If you are doing the high end, it's better to shop over there. That's one of the best places. All the internationally known designers, they have furnitures there, they have fabrics there from different regions, fabrics from Italy, England, India, you name it, they have them different, any kind unit. No matter what projects you have, you're always able to find all the kind of furnitures and fabrics there. Now it's almost 15 years that I've worked for myself. I opened the Pargari Design Inc. Throughout these years, you meet with them, you go to their gatherings, to the parties, to the events, to the shows. So it's wonderful to have such a good friends, and become friend with them, to collaborate all the projects and everything together. So I usually try to make them happy, and because I'm a happy person, and I try to make it fun. Any projects, no matter how big it is, and interior design, everyone thinks it's an easy work, but it's really not, because it has a lot of details, it has a lot of background work to create such a wonderful place, no matter room or whatever. So it has to be fun. So when I go over there and talk with them and meet with them, I always take my floor plan and describe everything. And they're such a wonderful person, and they help me a lot. called Shohreh. It's one of the biggest and most famous showroom at the Pacific Design Center. They have like two kinds of showrooms. Like this is more classic one, the other side is more modern. Most of the time I bring my clients over here so they can feel the whole atmosphere. As you see,
what's the most inspirational material for designing? Maybe wood, stone?
A good designer always uses everything. You have to have wood, stone, fabric. When you combine this perfectly, then you're gonna have a wonderful atmosphere, interior design. Always wonderful to have a different, unique look of plants. It just adds everything. You can use this in modern, classic, anywhere, any kind of style you have. We have a very rich history from making a palace, building a palace, reading all those history. It gives me a whole inspiration to design. And even for some of my furniture line, I use the elements from the Persepolis. So I could use, instead of the Italian, I'm using the Persian way to make it. When I moved to United States, I was supposed to become an engineer, and I had a computer I-20 form. But I had a very good advisor. She introduced me to interior design. On that time, interior design was the brand new major in United States. So I got very inspired by it, and I loved the creation. I loved all the work it has to be done to create a wonderful area. So that's why I went to a school for it. I got my bachelor degree in interior design, then to complete it in wood and furniture design. For anything you want to do, you have to be trained for it. You can't just come up next day and say, I want to be a designer. You need to have a good education for it. They need to train you. You need to get to know how to draw, how to draft, how to do sketches, and get yourself familiar with the color combination, harmony, scales of the furniture. So education is the most important part of being an interior designer. The best part is when you are drawing or sketching something on a paper, and then after a few months you are looking at it and you are creating that furniture or the whole room or the house or even the drapery. That is the most satisfaction I can get from creating pieces. If the last place or house or mansion you would like me to design, it will be definitely classic one, because I am enjoying doing any details of that and I love it. This is one of the very good big showrooms also at the Pacific Design Center. This is a technique of the finish. It calls chinoiserie. All these are raised, and it's one of the beautiful method which came from Paris. This is one of the showrooms which mostly they sell beautiful fabrics, and I'm very comfortable shopping in here. As you can see, they have variety of different kind of styles, silk mostly, and we go to the other areas, you can see the colors and everything are so beautiful. And I've been using these kind of fabrics all the time. Let me see if I can find the one I used. Look how beautiful is that one. I love all the colors. I'm a designer who's not afraid of the colors. I can use and put together perfectly colorful room, and yet very calm when you are walking into it. So these are some of the solid silk fabrics. As you can see, they are so beautifully color coordinated by each wing, so you can select any color you want. These are all silk and mostly used for the draperies. This is one of my favorite fabrics also. That it's very royalty. gorgeous, even though it has a gold, but will always make it wonderful.
Բարի լույս հայերը շարունակվում է Panarmenian եթերում, մենք զրուցում ենք իրանցի ինտերիեր դիզայների, ինչպես նաև կահույքի սեփական հավաքածուն ունեցող Parviz Pargariի հետ, ով միջազգային մի շարք մրցանակների դափնեկիր է։ Parviz, walk us through your design process. Where are you starting from? Where the starting point is?
Before, people, they thought interior designer has to be at the end. But now, especially the young generations and the one who had bad experience by finishing the house, they start to hire interior designer at the first, because I am, or we are the one who designed the house. Architects and contractors, they are just over there to build it and all that. But we pay so much attention to all the details to make sure everything is in a proper place, to make the place comfortable for the client. So, especially this past big projects I had, I designed the whole house. Then I gave it to an architect. Then architect gave it to a structural engineer and all that stuff. So anything is now people are learning, you know, it has to pass by interior designer, because we are not a decorator. We are designer. We design everything. So now people, they are learning it, and they know it's always good to have a good interior designer.
And it's always important to have a professional education for that.
Exactly.
Tell us, where did you studied your designer
Career.
Yeah.
I studied here in Los Angeles. Both my bachelor and master is from Cal State Northridge. Bachelor in interior design, master in wood and furniture design. Then I started working for a very well-known designer firm here in Beverly Hills. And after a year and a half or two, a client of mine, my first client, offered me the first job I had, which was a 25,000 square feet house, which I didn't by myself. And of course, you know, the experience of that, to be trained very well and all that, and be involved with whatever you do, to make sure I check off everything. I go to job site every morning to make sure everything's correct. I go visit my workrooms to make sure all the furnitures. I go see the drapery people. You know, it's a lot of things involved. Selecting all the tiles and faucets, everything. So I love my job, and I make sure that everything goes correctly, so we won't have any problem after a while, because any problem is costly, both for the time, which is mine, and the money, which is the client's. So we don't want to do that.
Also, I think by looking at your work, we can see that you like to break some rules that have been established, because you know there are some patterns that you could not mix, there are some colors that you're not supposed to mix, but you're doing that in a very, very beautiful manner. So, do you make your own rules, or sometimes you make your rules and then you break them too? So how does that work?
Actually, it's just happening, you know, because I'm not sure whether I'm breaking any rules, but I always like to be different, because now it's too many houses to design, too many offices to design, so we don't want everything to be a look like. So that's why sometimes to breaking the rules, coming up with a fresh and new idea that no one has used is always good for my portfolio and the client's house. So that's why I always am searching. Even most of my designs come to me when I go to bed. So I always try to have a different look for my clients, which is suitable for them.
So what was the most craziest idea so far
that you have done? Yeah.
Okay. The craziest one, I have a client. She is just completely traditional. We were interviewing a faux finisher to do all those like finish and plaster, different kind of stuff. So I said one day that, you know what, we are not going to do any faux finish in this house, and we're going to make all the walls, including the moldings and everything, all white. So it was a big challenge. It was a very big challenge, but I did it.
Wow.
But I did it. As soon as it's ready to film, I'm going to invite you to come over there and see it and look at. But I'm using some faux finishing for few areas of the ceilings, like in entry, dining room, living room, because I have to make her happy anyway, one way or the other. And actually, it looks good. It looks beautiful.
And can you feel, I'm sure you can, but it's interesting to know how you feel the personalities, because sometimes, you know, you see the person and you feel that this color would suit with their vibe, with their energy. Do you kind of do little psychological tests on your clients?
Of course, because, but on the other hand, I want to see what is good for the house. And then I use my tricks, and so I ask them to, I never argue with them, that's not me. But I always go with my guts to make sure everything goes perfectly, because I have an eye which can see the whole thing finished, complete, furnished, and all that, but they don't. It's my job to educate them to, if we are doing this one, if we are doing that one, then your house will be much nicer. And thank God they always listen. And at the end, they say, thank you.
Also, it's very different to design a commercial building, like you said, a city hall or a museum, than a house. Do you feel that sometimes your creativity is trapped when you're trying to design a commercial building?
Not really.
No?
No. Of course, because it's a commercial, it has more less creativity.
And maybe some rules that you have to make. Yeah.
But still, I use my passion and I use my tricks over there, one way or the other, even by adding a niche in different color inside a hallway or something. But I do something. I just don't go plain.
Got it.
That's not Parviz Pargari.
Yeah, and also you are finding some time to share your experience with young and upcoming designers. You are a professor in FIDM, Fashion Institute of Los Angeles. And how is it easy to work with future designers who are brave, maybe?
More ambitious, maybe?
Ambitious they have, but they don't realize that how hard it is to be a good designer. So everybody at the beginning, they want to be a designer, but they think that I'm one of those easiest ones to let them do whatever they want, but no, when it's my class, it's my rules. But at the end of the semester, when they looked at the project that they designed, like 5,000 square feet house, they are amazed themselves. So you need to give them responsibility and give them opportunity and train them well to make sure that they go by the rules and they know by the details and all that. So my mission is to train a knowledgeable designer, not only by looking at something, not only by buying few pieces of furniture, but the whole process of design. That is my mission for them.
And also, because Armenians, when we have someone who is very successful, who is Armenian, of course, all of us are very proud, and we love to, you know, we love to feel that Armenians are doing great in the world. You, as from a relatively small country, from Iran, how do you feel that, you know, you're here and a lot of, you know, people are trusting you, and of course you have a big community on your back, but do you feel like a kind of sense of maybe responsibility for your ethnicity as well, to perform a certain way and, you know, be a role model for your community?
Actually, these days, yes, I think I have more responsibilities, especially after winning the Peace Prize. So you have to make sure that whatever you do, because people are looking at your work all the time, no matter what you do, people are watching you. So I have to make sure, because I never knew that I'm going to be a candidate for the Peace Prize, but they looked at my work, they knew how I was working, And also, one other good thing had happened to me that I'm a judge for a big award, which is in North Cyprus, and it's a design award, architectural award, and I'm in the judge for the interior design part of it. So when they are trusting me to judge them, you know, God knows how many designers they are, so that gives me more responsibility to do a better job, to make sure that, because it's not only for me and my client, all the worlds are watching. So because these projects are not going to be only local,
yeah, locally.
It will be global. Everybody, all the magazines now, they are fighting over who's going to photograph these houses.
Wow.
Thank you, Parviz, for being with us this morning.
You.
Thank you for inviting me. Good morning, Armenia. And I feel like I'm home. So thank you for inviting me
Thank
again.
you for coming and sharing your story and your experience with us. Մենք շարունակենք ինտերիեր դիզայնի թեման, արդեն կարճատև գովազդային դադարից անմիջապես հետո շարունակելով ցուցադրել All About Details դոկումենտալ ֆիլմից հատվածներ, այնպես որ մնացեք մեզ հետ։
Very fortunate to meet Parviz. He's wonderful to work with. His clients are lovely. Parviz is very detail oriented, and he really has an eye for what is beautiful that would meet his design overall project.
I met him when I first opened my showroom, and he was working for another designer, and we've stayed friends and colleagues throughout the past 16 years. You know, when you're young and you start meeting people, you don't know where you're going to end up, and so it's so nice to be friends with Parviz for such a long time and look back on our history together and how we've grown up in the industry.
I have known Parviz for more than 10 years. He does really interesting and unique projects in the sense that they're very eclectic in some ways. Some are very modern, some are very traditional. He has a really great focus and attention for detail, which I think is important as a designer.
I've had experiences with Parviz where he's, you know, maybe purchased something out of our warehouse that's, you know, needed a little work, and he's completely changed the aesthetic of it and even surprised me with the result. And I find that really enjoyable. I find that creativity enjoyable. It feeds me as a salesperson or working in the showroom environment because it becomes a collaborative effort.
He just has a passion for elegance and beauty, and that comes together in his projects through the pieces he selects in color palette, in wood selection. So it's all part of that.
I love him as a designer. I think he's not only smart in the decorative aspect of the business, but also the business side of things. So I think he knows how to align with our design style here at Shohreh, because we work with high-end clientele. So when he comes in here, he has his high-end concept and high-end clientele, so it's really fun to work with him.
I've known Parviz for 16 years, and throughout that time I've known him to be a complete gentleman, kind, thoughtful, well-organized, just in terms of his being. In terms of his aesthetic and his look, I think what I love about Parviz the most is his use of color. In California, it's such a beige country, and whenever I see his work, it's always vibrant, exuberant, and bringing in inspiration from around the world.
He really takes into consideration what the clients want to achieve in terms of their homes, and he helps them to create their vision.
It's always astonishing to me what a designer sees and how they want to incorporate different pieces via changing shape, changing the colors to make it each individual project's own expression.
He loves to work with color, whether it's in fabrics or just playing around with different finishes. So I think that says a lot about him as a designer, is that he's not scared. So that's what I really enjoy about him.
I like his style because he's very traditional, but he also mixes things in. I like his ability to even see things beyond what you would normally, or how you would normally finish something, or what you would normally expect. I've seen him take pieces that have maybe needed a little restoration or a little work and rework them into a more contemporary environment that are would generally be considered traditional. And I always enjoy something unexpected. He's really good at doing that. And he's also really good at tying together a space, making it cohesive, but also putting something a little unexpected.
I think Parviz's signature in design is high-end, so it aligns with our showroom here. And I think he focuses a lot on quality of the finishes, whether it's a wood finish or a painted finish on a piece of furniture or a high-end, high-quality fabric. So I think he always searches for that high-quality, high-value, high-performance piece.
What does it mean to receive Goosey Peace Prize Award and be a trustee for Goosey Peace Prize Foundation?
I have to go back for some years back, so because of my contribution to interior art, furniture design and architecture, every year Goosey Peace Prize selects people who have served the community somehow in any aspects of the life. So I was lucky to be nominated for the Goosey Peace Prize, and I was lucky to win it. So it was a wonderful ceremony. I went to Manila, and there is a whole week of ceremonies, like to go to Rizal Park, which paid tribute to Mr. Rizal, who was a hero in Manila, Philippines. And also welcoming dinner, and then finally which comes to the night of ceremony, which they hand you the Goosey Peace Prize. And I'm honored to receive that one. I never thought that I'm gonna win a Peace Prize for my work, and I'm so grateful and appreciate all those people who looked at my job in different way to find out that, yes, I am doing my job perfectly and I deserve to have that Peace Prize. It made me to work harder, look at the life in different way, have different aspects of living, how to approach people, how to design, and how to construct everything.
Flag of Iran with Honorable Parviz Pargari.
I call upon the Honorable Parviz Pargari from Iran. Please come forward. Our laureate. He has his own line of custom designed furniture and has been designing European, French and Italian villas and Spanish and traditional Californian styles. As a well-known man in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Marina del Rey and also Los Angeles. Honorable Parviz Pargari from Iran, for your contribution to interior and architectural design.
You have also designed the Goosey Museum. What was the concept and the idea behind it?
That's a very good project. Actually, I'm so proud. Goosey Peace Prize Foundation did not have any place or any foundation office, I can say. So I decided to design that Goosey Peace Prize Museum. Not only the museum, but also a hotel behind it. So every year, all those laureates who are going to receive Goosey Peace Prize, they can stay there and have their ceremonies there as well. I give them the house because you can see all the laureates' picture, all the monuments and all the objects or whatever the gifts they have received, it will be displayed, as well as all the honoraries picture. I made it like a walk of fame, or wall of fame actually for them. It's a big project and we are still working on it, and it's going to take some years to be finished.
Let's talk about your cooperation with different workshops. How did you start it? When did you start it?
Many years ago, probably like, I believe now it's almost like 8 years ago, some people in Tehran, they asked me to have a workshop for the interior designers student. After long talk, I accepted it. We had that one. It was wonderful and successful. And 2 years ago, again, they asked me to have one more workshop. This was even more successful. I had 40 students, junior designers and students as well. And now I am launching some international workshops. The first one hopefully will be in Istanbul. And then we go to different countries like Armenia, Dubai, to Cyprus, Vienna maybe, and Toronto.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you plan to start international workshops, maybe showrooms, stores, offices?
We are working on that one, the furniture and also projects, different projects. I've been talking to some vendors, clients, and all that from different regions.